And then when you are forced to engage with subjects like menstrual hygiene and to acknowledge the injustice of just access to a basic right for a woman to be able to be comfortable in her body, to have access to hygiene, and a recognition of how little we had done as a society and as business to address that subject was at a personal level extremely important in shaping who I am and hopefully what I will be for the rest of my life as well. The first piece of work that you saw around normalizing periods, very brave work that took the insight of the only group of women in the country perhaps who look forward to their period as sex workers, because for those 3 or 4 days they get a break from their work, and to use that time to kind of reskill them or to give them a path or a possibility of a different type of life for them, but also more importantly for their children.
Last year, we asked the women of India a question.
No, I definitely don't look forward to my period. It's irritating, so I don't like my periods now. In an inconvenient time of the month.
And then we asked commercial sex workers what periods mean to them.
जो काम है ना हमारा हमेशा रहता है, जुकाम सर्दी 3 दिन पीरियड्स आता है, वही टाइम में हम लोग घर में आराम करते हैं.
अच्छा लगता है, घर पे टाइम पास करता है, घर का काम धंधा करता है.
For women in the sex trade, periods are a welcome pause, as 3 days of periods means 3 days of no work. On International Women's Day, India's leading sanitary napkin brand Stayfree launched a first-of-its-kind initiative that helps women in the sex trade learn the skills of a new trade on their free period days. And Project Free Period was born. India's leading anti-trafficking NGO Prerna and a team of expert trainers came together to create a unique curriculum. Designed to generate economic sustenance, the courses were condensed into easy 3-day modules for the women to learn one period at a time.
আমার ছেলে বড় হয়ে আগে গিয়ে বলতে পারবে আমার মা কি কাজ করছে.
Only a year after its humble start in Mumbai's Kamatipura, Project Free Period has expanded and evolved into a nationwide platform that's pioneering conversations around 2 of India's biggest taboos, periods and prostitution. This year, we are taking Project Free Period out of a single neighborhood and reaching out to every commercial sex worker across the country by partnering with more local NGOs and volunteers. We are also creating self-learning video modules of our courses that can be shared and downloaded digitally, and giving away compact toolkits for those who are unable to reach our classrooms. Here's your chance to help Project Free Period become bigger and better. Nominate an NGO that could be interested in partnering with us, or simply share this video to help us spread the word. Because Project Free Period is only as strong as the number of sex workers it empowers, one period at a time.
I believe work of this nature, it is effective because it helps the brand cut through if it's done in a distinctive and consistent way over time. I think that's the other important insight, which is that we chase headlines a lot in our line of work, and we try and sometimes get away with doing things that are a little bit superficial, but the really impactful, effective work is work that you commit to and stay committed to over time, and consistency has as much of a role to play, I think, in great outcomes as creative brilliance, and being able to get that balance right is really what our job is. And I believe on Stayfree we've been able to get that right more often than not.
This whole shame that has been talked about, around those days, and how it impacts in terms of your relationship with your own self, because that's your coming of age as a woman, like your understanding. So how powerful it is. And it is unimaginable to start having a conversation at that point in time, and not excluding 50% of the society
It's just a period. I think that's the thing. It's about normalizing it. We kind of make such a big deal about this subject, but the consequences of not having that conversation are so deeply damaging to society. Like you said, it excludes it. It's a huge part of the reason why so many women find themselves at the margins of conversations. You made a wonderful observation about how this is really basically about power and authority. This is about how power flows through every unit in which society is organized. And then you start to see that play out in the dynamics at a family level, at a community level. You see that happen then at the workplace, and then everything that follows from the fact that very early at that first stage, when a girl has her period, how is she made to feel about it, and how do we deal with that moment, right? As a society. And then, so to kind of catalyze that, whether we do it through a social experiment or through a beautiful piece of film, or the work that we put out in by way of our social media conversations on the subject, whichever way it happens, it has, if we are true and honest to that vulnerability, it can make for very, very powerful work.
Thank you. This way. It's good.
डॉटर से ऑडिशन टिकट
तुमसे एक बात करनी थी।
शायद तुम्हारी मम्मी ने इस बारे में ऑलरेडी तुमसे बात की हो।
लेकिन मैं भी बात करना चाहूंगा।
Sorry, I messed up the script. Let's do it again. कुछ डाउट होगा तो ऑकवर्ड फील मत करना, पूछ लेना, ओके?
ओके, बट बात किस बारे में करनी है?
कैमरे के सामने।
बेटा स्क्रिप्ट दिखाना एक।
यही सब
नहीं, पापा करते हैं ना, ट्राई तो करते हैं।
periods what do you know about periods?
नॉट मच, किसी ने कुछ बताया ही नहीं, पर मैंने साइंस की बुक में पढ़ा है।
अच्छा,
Periods is something you'll get soon
and you will get every month afterwards. मतलब तुम्हारी बॉडी में कुछ चेंजेस होंगे और
तुम थोड़ा ब्लीड भी करोगे।
मतलब खून?
घबरो नको बेटा, ये एक नेचुरल प्रोसेस है।
in fact it is good for you.
How is it bleeding good for my body?
Good question. Because that's the way you get rid of stuff your body doesn't need.
मतलब ये चीज मम्मा को भी होती है, आपको और इवन भैया को भी?
नहीं, सिर्फ मम्मा को होती है, तुमको होती है, भैया को मुझे नहीं होगी।
जब तुम्हारी एज की थी तब से होता है मम्मी को।
दीदी
को भी होता है।
ब्लीडिंग होगी तो 3-4 दिन घर पे रहना पड़ेगा।
नहीं, तुम खेलने जा सकते हो, स्कूल जा सकते हो, डांस क्लासेस जा सकते हो, सब कुछ कर सकते हो।
तर कोणाला माहिती नाही पडणार ना?
नहीं बेटा कोणालाच काही करणार नाही है। कभी कभी थकावट होगी, कभी थोड़ा बैक पेन होगा, अब क्या है।
और ये कितनी देर तक होता है?
3-4 दिन, बट डोंट वरी, उसके बाद अपने आप रुक जाता है।
हाँ?
It's completely natural.
It's totally normal.
It's just a period.
सॉरी, वो स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा सा। थैंक यू।
We have so much more to do on this subject as not just as advertising professionals, but as citizens of the world.